Hey guys, so in today's video, as the title says, I am doing my eyeshadow collection, and this is the drawer I keep my eyeshadows in, and I took it out just so I can have more space to take everything out and show you guys. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So before I get into like my eyeshadow drawer, there are two palettes here that just don't fit into the drawer that I keep it separately in a different drawer. So I have the Jeffree Star Alien palette, and then the Blue Blood palette. So I have those two, and then also in the same drawer that I keep these in, I didn't bring them out just because they're at the bottom of the drawer and there's other stuff in there, but I have the original Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe, like the volume 1, and that came out in like 2017, and then I have the Morphe James Charles palette, and those two don't fit in here because they're too big, and like I have them like laid flat. So yeah, those are in a different drawer, and now we can jump into my main drawer. So right on top is the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette, and it's really pretty. I've been using it a lot, not only just because it's sitting on top, but because I really enjoy the shimmers up top, and the purples are really nice to work with. And I have it on top like right here because that's the only place it fits. And pretty soon I'm going to have to dedicate another drawer to eyeshadows. And then also laying on top is the Midas Cosmetics High Times palette, which is really nice. I've been using the greens in here a bunch too. And then on the sides here I have the Rach Leary and Makeup Revolution, the big palette. They did do two. I got this one because it was on sale shortly after it came out at Ulta. And let's see, there you go. I did a few looks with this on my Instagram, and as you can see, I used like the pinks. And the face stuff is pretty. The bronzers are too orangey for me, but the blushes and the highlighters are really nice. And then after that, I have the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette, which I obviously love. I got this when it came out, and I'm super happy with it. And then I have the Tati Beauty palette. Also got this when it came out. I love this. I don't use glitters a lot. Like, I use the metallics, and that's like with every palette. But if I do want like a super shimmery glitter look, I go for this palette because the formula of this is amazing. It doesn't like separate on your eye, and it doesn't look like patchy. So these are really nice, and I just love. It's a easy go-to everyday palette that you know is gonna work. From front to back, I have this Huda Beauty Electric Obsessions palette tucked in this corner. As you can see, it's really messy. This yellow is really nice. I now have other really good yellows in my palette, but when I first received this, I got it for a birthday present a few years ago. When I first received this, I didn't really have yellow in my collection, so I used this one for a while, and the purple in the top left is really nice. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Huda Beauty, but this formula, like in this specific or 9-pan palette, is really nice, and it's very pigmented and performs really well if you need like different colors. I don't know if she still sells this though. I have another Makeup Revolution palette. This is their what is this one? Chilled palette. And I really like the packaging on these. It's not too much, and it's decent quality, like if you had to travel with it. So this is what this palette looks like. I really like this. Now, I got this before I got the Midas one. I wanted the Midas one, but it was sold out, and then it went on sale shortly after I bought this, but I still want it. Even though they both deal with weed, I felt like they were different enough. Like, this has oranges and different shades of green, and while they still have some golds and some lighter shimmers, I feel like I can do different looks with them, just because this one has like a gray and it has oranges, and the tones of the browns are different. So yeah, I have both. And after that, I have the Me, Myself, and Mitchell palette with Beauty Bay, and I'm obsessed with this palette. Honestly, it's the perfect color palette. I use this side a lot. I love the dark greens. I feel like sometimes when you apply this one and this one, it almost gives the same effect, but I wish it was like a little bit deeper, and sometimes it can come off blue. But other than that, I really like this palette, and so happy I got it for Christmas. Next, I have the Midas Cosmetics Smoky Glow Palette. It looks like this if you're unfamiliar. Got this a couple weeks ago, finally. The shipping got delayed because of the coronavirus, but I love this palette. I love the shade Nutty. Like, Nutty is the perfect name for it because it is. It's just nutty. The shimmers in here are super pretty, and I'm really happy that there's no, like, glitter in it. And I'll touch on that in a minute. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with this palette. For the Smoky Glow palette, I have the Midas Cosmetics Flower Bomb palette, which looks like this. Super pretty. As you can see, I use it a lot. I love Rose Mallow up in the top right. I really love all the colors in this, and it creates really pretty looks. Now, how I said in the Smoky Glow palette, I'm glad they didn't have the glitter shades, because although they're really pretty, like this one is super pretty, I have such a hard time applying them on my eye, and sometimes they just get patchy and they get weird on my eye and it clumps up. They're kind of hard to work with, but besides the glitters, I would recommend this palette just because it's all around gorgeous, and I get some of the prettiest looks using this palette, and the blues in here are amazing to work with. And then behind the Flower Bomb palette, I have these two 9-pan palettes from Jeffree Star. So I have the Mini Breaker, which looks like this, and then I have the Mini Controversy from the Shane Dawson collection, and I really like that. The blues in there are nice as well. And then behind that, I have the Conspiracy palette, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this looks like. I waited in line for hours for it at the store the day that it came out, and I'm super happy that I was able to grab it. And then after the Conspiracy palette, I also have these two Kaleidos palettes. I have, what is this? This is the Astro Pink Futurism 3. I'm obsessed with this color story. Let me hold it into the light more. Love this. Also have the Kaleidos Futurism 1, the Sci-Fi Green, which is also another color story that I'm super into. Looks like that. And I got these both for Christmas as well, along with my Mama Mitchell palette, and I love those. I really want to get the other ones. And then after the Kaleidos palettes, I have my Anastasia palettes. So I have Jackie Aina, which I got for Christmas with a gift card, and I'm obsessed. I have probably my most used palette, not even just Anastasia, but my most used in general. Maybe. It might be Modern Renaissance, actually, but as you can see, this palette's been really well loved. I'm almost hitting pan on all of these here. I can see the dip in it. Just a gorgeous go-to palette for even everyday or smoky looks. I love this. And then Modern Renaissance, which I know has more pan spots. So yeah, 3 shades in here have pan. So maybe I use this a little bit more, especially like the first 6 shades. But yeah, both great palettes. Had them for quite a few years now. And then I have Norvina, which I'm glad I didn't purchase this. I'm glad I got it when I was still working at Ulta as gratis. It's pretty. The shimmers are really nice, but I just don't think it's very versatile, and I can't create a lot of looks out of it. So yeah, I'm just glad I didn't buy it. And then after my Anastasia palettes, I have my Urban Decay palette. So I have Naked 1 and Naked 2. Naked 1, I bought a new one when they were going out of stock, when they were discontinuing it, and I also have a backup of it. So yeah, that's why it's like newer. And then I have Naked 2 palette, which, as you can see, I've hit pan on like the first 3 shades, and I made a dent in the black, and I used to use this all the time. This was my first ever makeup palette that I bought. This had to have been like maybe 8 years ago now, something like that. It's been a while, but still going strong. It still performs nicely, so that's why I still have it around, plus nostalgic reasons as well. And then I have my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and I actually do have more palettes in storage, just because I did move and everything was in storage, and I didn't bring out all the palettes that I don't use. I'll actually pull them out in a minute because I know exactly where they are. But I kept this in my drawer, and I used to love this all the time when I first bought it, and this was before they brought back the collection. This is originally when it launched that I bought this. back in like 2016. Yeah, I think 2016. And it still performs nicely. Like, I just don't think Too Faced, like, I used to think Too Faced shadows were really nice, and they are really nice. You can get simple, pretty looks out of them, but they don't blend the best, and they're not the best pigmented, but yeah, it's still a really nice palette. I like the shimmers, and it still smells like peach, so. And then I have the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Sandra Rose palette, and it's really messy inside because when it was shipped, the one shade was broken, and then the Bloom shade next to it was also broken, and so is Flourish, but I pressed those in. As you can see, like, if you look close at them, you can see that I, like, repressed them. It's a really pretty palette. I don't reach for it as much because every time I do, it's just super messy. It gets all over my clothes, and yeah, I also didn't really have a great transaction with the owner. It's a small brand on Instagram, and I lusted over this palette for a really long time before I even bought it. She now no longer sells it, but when I spoke to her, she was supposed to send me a new one. I went a couple weeks without hearing anything, and then I reached out again because I'd love to use it and I'd love to reach out, but the customer service aspect, at first I thought it was great, but then she just started ignoring me. And then she said, I can send you out a new one when I figure out a different way to package that. And that's been at least a month or two now. I still have all the messages on Instagram. But yeah, the customer service aspect really bothered me. And yeah, so I don't really reach for it as much as I hate that, because I still paid a decent amount to get it here from Australia. So yeah. And then I have the Morphe Manny MUA collab that came out this year, and I got it for like $1 because I used my points, and it was on sale already at Ulta, and I wanted to get it to support Manny. So this is what it looks like. It's pretty. It works well. I like the highlighters, and I really like the maroon shade in Scorpio, but that's about it. It just creates really pretty neutral looks. There's nothing more to say about it. And then after the Manny palette, I have the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Let me open this. I've had this for like 3 years now. Really pretty. I really like in the middle row those 3 shimmers right there, as you can see. And it creates really pretty looks. Not my favorite formula, and I don't really support Huda, but I still have it, so I'm going to use it. And then I have my Urban Decay Born to Run palette. Again, really pretty. Creates nice looks, and I feel like that's what Urban Decay gives you, is just like easy everyday looks with a couple pops of color in this one. So I don't know what palette this is called, but it's the one that just has all the metallics with the mirror in the middle. Really pretty metallics. Again, I got this with my Ulta points, so it was like not even $1. It was like 36 cents. And yeah, I really like the metallics in here. And then the last palette in the store is the Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream. Really, really pretty. Got this 2 Christmases ago, like 2018 Christmas, and it's pretty. Not my favorite formula, but it's an easy formula, especially for beginners, and it still creates pretty looks. And the only reason why it's all the way in the back is just because of the length, and these palettes being on the side, it fits right there. So yeah, like I said, I have other palettes elsewhere, but honestly don't really feel like getting them. If you guys want to see like a Shop My Stash or of ranking all my shadows from favorite to least, like Abby Williamson just did, I'll link her video down below. I would definitely be open to doing that, so just let me know down below, and I hope you enjoyed my eyeshadow palette collection, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!